If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel, as well as follow me and subscribe to me on all my other social media platforms. What's up, Thrashers, and welcome back once again to the Thrash Maniac 99 YouTube channel, and I am back with another episode of Under the Radar for you guys, where this week we take a look at albums that came out on February 17th. And, well, why don't we go ahead and get into it? There were a couple of other albums that caught my eye that I wanted to take a look at from the weekend of the 17th, and the first one I'm talking about is the first time I've checked out this band, and it's their first album out in 10 years, Man Must Die with the Pain Behind It All. So this is a Scottish tech death band, and the reason why I was interested in checking out this band is because going through their metal archives, I saw they were compared to bands like Decapitated, Revocation, Cattle Decapitation, Necrophagist, so I was like, well, that's the kind of tech death I do enjoy. And, well, this album, aside from it being technical, it is pissed off and angry. After all these lyrics are all about, like, themes of war and hatred and destruction. Basically, typical, like, angry lyrics, I would say. But musically speaking, like, there is some good technical parts that go on here, but there's also a few moments of some catchiness that come in here too. Like, there were moments on this album where there were riffs and rhythms that kind of reminded me of a band like Gojira a little bit, and maybe even some slower parts from, like, say, a Black Crown Initiate or something like that. But for the most part, you get, like, Decapitated-inspired chug parts or breakdowns on this album, but you do get some, like, necrophagist technical bits here and there, so it's kind of like a nice hybrid of, like, the technical prowess of Necrophagist and the catchy breakdowns of a Decapitated, mix it together, and you get Man Must Die. But yeah, like I said, a couple Gojira spots, and some spots of other bands kind of pop up here and there too, but the only thing I could really complain about is maybe the drums were a little too clean sounding, like almost like, I thought like the cymbals sounded like they were from an electronic kit. I don't think it is, but it just sounds like it was a programmed electronic cymbal or something like that. So despite the slight too polished production, the songwriting was pretty good. I give this album an 8.5 out of 10. Might need to check out the previous albums from this band and see what they're truly all about, but still, very enjoyable listen. And now on to the second and final album I am talking about from the weekend of February 17th, and that is the fourth studio album from a Norwegian progressive thrash metal band called 66 Crusher with Limbo. Another band I have not heard of until today, and well, when I was looking at their stuff on Metal Archives, they're relatively unknown on that website. Like, they got no similar artists on the similar artists section. So I was just kind of going into this one almost completely blind. But yeah, it's 7 songs. I think it's about close to an hour. Maybe, yeah, I think it'd be reaching towards an hour, maybe 50 minutes, but I digress. But yeah, long songs for the most part. Hell, the shortest song of the album is just a hair under 5 minutes. But basically, yeah, it's prog thrash. However, this is more of a prog metal album than it is thrash metal. Like, there are a few songs that have thrash parts, but for the most part, this is mostly just straight up prog metal. Like, there are moments on here that made me think of Mastodon with some of the slower and slightly, like, prog, like Mastodon-style arpeggios on the guitar. Then there are moments whenever it gets into the thrash, kind of feels like Testament, or maybe even some modern thrash like Havoc and Warbringer. Whenever it gets into those thrash parts, those are the bands that I can kind of pick and choose from where I hear a lot of this going into. And then there's even a song called Unscarred, which that song sounds straight up like old school Opeth. And it is a beautiful song, and hell, even the final track, the title track, kind of blends together everything that this album was doing. And that's some great melodies, some wonderful, like, atmosphere, some thrash moments, some really heavy bits, and some solid vocals. Like, the vocal performance, pretty solid, and everything was well audible in the production. So, really, and also the creativity going on this album kind of caught me by surprise. So, between this one and the Man Must Die, I think this one's better. I'm giving this a 9 out of 10. For a prog metal album with moments of thrash, this is some really damn good stuff right here. Like, there's some beauty, there's some catchiness, there's some brutality with some of the thrash parts, but for the most part, prog metal right here. But what did you guys think of both of these albums? Let me know in the comments below, and until next time, you keep your horns high and your dreams wet.